Hey everybody, it's your girl Bunny. To all of my returning subscribers, hey, how you doing? And for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. Kick your feet up, subscribe to this family-friendly channel, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss any posts. Also follow me on Instagram at the same profile name, officialbunne_e. Now let's get to the recap. It's a lovely morning at the resort, and Chris joins Alex and Brian for a nice workout. And Alex asks Brian, hey, how was your date with Alicia? And Brian says, it was good. After the date, I walked her to her room and went in her room to talk. And, I just wanted to tell her good night, and everything went well as far as I can see. And Chris and Brian say that eliminations are up for today. They feel weird, but they know it's something that's got to happen. Rasheed tells production that the comments that Denise made about him being a narcissist based upon his physical appearance was just wrong, and he's got to have a talk with her. He can't have these feelings and not address her about it. He knows that Adriana talked to her about it, but he personally just wants to speak with Denise. After he sits down with Denise, he says, I just wanted to talk to you about the comments that you made about how I'm a narcissist because I'm tall, light-skinned, and in a fraternity. I just didn't feel right about that. And Denise says, well, let me start off with an apology on behalf of Adriana because she doesn't know me well enough. She doesn't know that much about me to understand what I meant. I never said you were a narcissist. I said you have traits of a narcissist. Everyone that I have met that are narcissists, that are controlling, you have those traits. And that's what I meant by that. And he says, well, my name, me, being associated with that word, that's just not who I am. That's not me. I want to let you know that's not who I am. And I make sure that I treat everybody with respect, and I treat other people with that same valor and understanding. I just don't want you to feel that way based on my appearance, because that's just not who I am. And then he says, I'm 39. I've lived my life. I've been through stuff. I know better. I'm not talking down on you, but, you should just exhibit that. And I see that in you, and it just reminded me of, those narcissistic ways. But, it is what it is. Rasheed isn't buying it and says to production that it doesn't exclude her from making those assumptions based on what he looked like and based up on her past. But maybe she can learn over time that that's just not cool for somebody just to judge you and say something about you and they don't know anything about you. Edwin and Nya, they get some time alone and have breakfast. And he says that he loves her energetic energy. And he tells Nya that at one point in time, he wore his dog tag and also the dog tag of a friend who passed away in Iraq. And he learns that it was symbolism of him holding on to certain things. He was trying to remember his friend and show that he was living his life and to enjoy life, but he was connected with that through pain. And he felt that God was trying to tell him, take those off and wear another chain and just enjoy life and don't focus so much on things that are associated with death. Enjoy life, every moment, and just live. He needed to learn, and he needed to stop holding on to things that didn't remind him of positive things. And he says, you know what? I'm sorry about that. I get to rambling. And she's like, no, I commend you for that because you're being completely transparent. And I like that. It takes a lot for a person to say, hey, this is how I'm feeling. And we don't have that much time here at the resort. So it's very important that everybody try to connect with as many people as possible and make conclusions about who they want to get to know more. She says, look, I'm going to be transparent as well. I've had 4 miscarriages, failed relationships. My mom and my grandmom, the 2 people that I'm closest with, they passed away within 2 months of each other. And I was just completely unprepared for such a thing. I had to fix me and get better faster in order for me to move on. And I want that gentleman to make my life complete. And she says, there's that saying, how do you eat an entire elephant? Well, you take one bite at a time. Edwin loves how open she is. And Nya tells production that she likes him, but also Chris. But this conversation that they've had made her look at Edwin totally different in a positive way, of course. We see a montage of different dates going on throughout the resort, and Chris, Winter, Joy, Shay, Alicia, and Anthony, they all sit down and have a little talk. And Alicia can't wait to spill the beans about what happened with Brian. And she says, look, I want to spill some tea. So we go on this amazing date, me and Brian, and we agree that we're going to cuddle and watch a movie. And he says, okay, I'm going to go and take a shower, and then I'm going to come back. And of course, Shay wants to chime in for some reason and says, well, yeah, we heard Brian go to Alex's room. And Alicia says, yeah, that's messed up, Chris. If a woman invites you to her room and you don't want to go, what do you say? And Chris has this pause, and we hear this record slow down like, do, do, do. It's like, Rick, like, uh-oh. And he's stuck not wanting to answer because, there's some bro codes, and Anthony says to production, I don't feel right about this situation, but he tells everybody else, if it were me and I were in that situation, I would have just let you know I wasn't feeling you and I wasn't coming to your room. And Alicia says, well, we are, we're not vibing like I thought. And Chris says, to production, I thought we were done with the F-boy behavior, and what he's doing is just wrong. I wonder what he was thinking. And Joy says, since we're all talking about tea and what's been happening, she says, there was one night, I'm hanging with Jay, and Simone comes over to tell me that Jay went into Winter's room like half dressed. And I'm like, how is she expecting me to react? Was she expecting some kind of reaction from me? And Winter says, that's interesting. And Winter has her production clipping saying, wow, this energy of spreading gossip is just not my energy. And it really hurt me hearing what Simone did. And then she goes on to say to everyone, well, the real is the real. We went to my room to talk for like 3 minutes. It wasn't that deep. And for her to come to you and say that, I just thought we were cool. And, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt and what she said, but now I want to talk to her. And Anthony says to production, it's suspect to me how she explains she wants to talk to him and take him to her room to talk for some extra time. That seems shady. And Shay says that Simone is wanting to take everybody else's shine so she can come in for the kill, basically. And Anthony feels that Shay is throwing salt in the game. And I'm like, you think? But of course, he's saying this to production and not to everybody else. Alicia says, well, we all grown, so we need to talk about it. And Winter says, yes, let's just all talk about it while it's fresh on our minds. Now, don't let too much time go by. We need to just talk to people and just address different things that they've said and that they've done. So Winter and Joy go to Simone where she's playing, a nice game of pool with Brian. And Joy says, we don't want to interrupt your game, but when you get a chance, when you get a moment, we want to talk to you. And Winter says that when she comes over, let's just sit a little further apart so it doesn't seem like we're ganging up on Simone. So Winter goes straight in as soon as Simone sits down. And she's like, look, I just want to clarify with you that Jay did come to my room and we chatted, but that was it. And I was upset that you told Joy, something that was not true. You kind of like stretched it out and saying that he was half naked and he came in my room or he was completely naked. I thought we were cool. I thought we were good. And then it just doesn't make me look good. It's giving the idea that we were in the room doing something inappropriate, and that just wasn't the case. Simone says, look, we're good, and I don't have an issue with either one of y'all. And Joy says, well, the way you presented the information to me seems odd. He was half naked. He was in her room. Why did you feel the need to tell me? I just want to know. And Simone says, it was an insecure moment. I'm used to guys chasing after me or coming after me. And when I said that, I made Winter look bad, and I won't do it again. I apologize to the both of you. But Winter, and in the moment, she's not really down with what she's saying. The explanation doesn't seem valid to her. And she says, it just hurts me because you presented that to Joy like I'm risque and I'm just hurt. And Winter says, it's really hurtful to me because I thought we were close. I thought we were developing a friendship. And when you said something like that, it just really hurt me. And Simone begins to cry because she feels so bad about what she said. And they all start to cry because the matter at hand is just something that's really uncomfortable. And Joy just didn't like the perception of Winter because she really liked her. And she didn't like the perception of Simone when she came over with this gossipy kind of energy. And Simone says that she takes full responsibility in making Winter look a certain way, and she takes full responsibility in Joy feeling a certain type of way, that she brought that energy to her. She expresses to production that she was intimidated by Joy and Winter because they're so dainty and soft, and what guy wouldn't want them, and what chances do I have? And she says to Joy it was an immature move and that I need to grow up on a lot of things and just realize what I'm doing and what I'm saying. And they all squash it and move on. Chris talks to Brian and asks, like, man, you went to Alicia's room last night? And Brian is like, yeah, I did. And Chris is like, yo, man, that's not a good look for you, my G. Like, what's really going on? We flip to the scene where we see Shay, Alex, and Adriana. They're sitting down and having a talk, and Shay can't wait to tell Alex, like, I was with Alicia waiting on Brian to come back to, to her room, but he stopped by your room. And then we cut back to Chris and Brian, and he proceeds to say, Shay heard you, in Alex's room, and you were supposed to come back to her room. Like, what's going on? We flip back to the women. Shay goes on to say that he was supposed to go back to Alicia's room, but didn't come back. Like, what's up with that? And Alicia hears her name and joins in on the conversation. And Alex says, like, hey, girl, was he supposed to go back to your room? And Alicia was like, yeah, he said, certain things, but we need to go further into detail. Let's just go and just walk and talk about this. We flip back to Chris and Brian, and he's like, well, why didn't you just go back to Alicia and just clear up everything and just let her know, like, hey, like, I feel uncomfortable, I don't want to come back, and I'm just gonna do something else. And Brian's just like, I don't know why I did that. And he's like, no, man, I mean, you completely ghosted her. And Brian's like, well, no, I didn't ghost her. I kind of zombied her. I wasn't dead, but I was still alive to her. And Chris is just like, okay, you zombied her. Like, however you want to put it. But, Brian is just like, I have a hard time telling people that I'm not interested. And Chris is like, well, you got to fix it, man. You got ASAP, because clearly they're probably over there talking about the situation right now, and it's just making you look really, really bad. So you need to just tell her what happened or something. So Alicia tells Alex, like, he was supposed to come back to my room and he never did. That's just like some sneaky stuff, girl. And he's playing games. And Alex says to production, well, if he did that to her, then he can do that to me. And Alicia also says, well, it would be cool, girl, if you just went over there and told him that I want to talk to him. And Alex is like, I got you, girl. I'm finna go over there and let him know that you want to talk to him. Brian and Chris are updating Rasheed on the mess, and Alex walks over there and says, hey, Brian, Alicia wants to talk to you. So Brian goes over to Alicia, and he's telling her, look, I had trouble telling you that, honestly, I didn't want to watch a movie with you, and I just handled that all wrong. And Alicia says, well, I was just hurt about the whole situation. You could have just told me the real deal. And Brian is just like, I'm just sorry. I sincerely apologize. But Alicia is not having it. She's saying to production, I don't trust him for anything. He could be lying to me for right now, for all I know. Then we see Kelfani and Winter talk, and she fills him in on what happened because he's been out of the loop. Joy tells Jay what happened, and Jay feels like it's he said, she said, and he's not down with that. He's not down with that drama world, and is just disappointed in Simone for doing such a thing because he really, really liked her. But he's just like, I really don't like drama. Shay wants to know about Rasheed's brand on his arm. This is like an awkward scene. And she's like, oh, what's this? What's this on your arm? And before he can go into explaining information about his fraternity and what it means, she keeps cutting him off and says, oh, I know what that means. It's a kappa. y'all pretty boys, pretty Ricky, what they call him, pretty Ricky, what they call him. Rasheed is like, yeah, something like that. And Shay continues on and says, this boy I used to love, he was a Kappa, oh, he was the devil, woo. But he just, oh, you and him, y'all just got so much in common. And Rasheed is like, really? Oh, and she's rubbing on both of his shoulders, and it's making Rasheed feel very uncomfortable. You can tell because he's actually crossing his chest with his arms as if to say, get off me. And Shay just keeps going. She's like, I'm just so tired of controlling everything, being the woman and the man. Woo, I'm ready for submissiveness. I'm ready for submissiveness. And she starts dancing, and it's just like, what is wrong with her? While all this is going on, we got Chris and Anthony playing pool, witnessing the whole thing, just looking at the buffoonery. And she's twerking, and she's saying, I'm twerking for submissiveness, twerking for submissiveness. And Rasheed is just in this uncomfortable situation because he can't escape. Booty in front of him to his left, booty to his right. So much booty he can't sleep at night. Winter and Jay sit down and have a talk. And Jay says, everything that happened, all the drama, it didn't have anything to do with us. We were in it, but it didn't have anything to do with us. And I'm like, I heard that, Jay. You better speak that truth. And Winter says, I felt some empathy for Simone because it was an emotionally charged decision, an emotionally charged statement. And I know that she was sincere, and I could feel the sincerity of what she was saying. Like, I honestly do believe her. And Jay says, you exclude things that are negative and you exude what I'm looking for. You're so peaceful. You don't look for anyone to complete you. You're looking for love. And Simone says, you have a quiet strength. You don't have to be loud and talk about your strength. It's just there. And I love that more than anything. Kelfani loves Adriana's vibes, her height, her beauty. And he explains that his love language is quality time because that's something that nobody else can provide. And Adriana says that her love language is for her man to just notice the little things. Like if I'm saying my shoulders hurt or my back hurt earlier that day, and then we come home and then you say, hey, baby, let me rub your shoulders or rub your back. Like those are the things that I think that are beautiful. Just knowing that you're listening and that you care. She says to production that now she's conflicted because Rasheed is a safe, good thing that she knows a little bit or has an idea of. And Kelfani is this great new thing, this great new energy. So it's like, who should I lean more towards and who should I put more energy into? Tommy sits down with the guys. Everybody gets comfortable. And of course, Chris is there with his shirt open again, wide open with the leopard, with the leopard. Now I love me some leopard print, don't get me wrong, but his vibes are just killing me softly. Not in a good way, but like a cat trapped in the rain, kind of killing me. Okay, moving on. Tommy wants to know, hey guys, who are you feeling? Who are you having more chemistry with? And of course, Joy and Winter is Jay's pick. Anthony loves Winter and Denise. Rasheed, Adriana, of course. Brian is feeling Alex. Kelfani is feeling Denise and Adriana. But it did disappoint him and made him feel a little different about Denise because she was so triggered and judged somebody based upon their looks. And he didn't like that. But he's also saying that it's very early and he needs to be open to both Adriana and Denise. Chris is feeling Nya and Edwin is feeling Nya as well. And Chris kind of gave that look to Edwin like, somebody else like my girls. Like, he kind of felt some type of way. Now it's time to know who they're not feeling and why. And Anthony says Shay because she's not connecting with anybody. Each guy one by one agrees that Shay is just, they don't have a connection with her. And then they reflect on all the terrible moments that they had with her, moments at the pool, moments of talking loud, moments of, kind of making rude comments to people. They really just didn't have anything really positive to say about Shay. Jay says that he was feeling Simone until something happened. And he feels in Tommy on what happened and what went down. And he's like, that's interesting that happened. And Rasheed says, I'm not feeling Denise because of the comments she made about him being light-skinned, tall, and being in a frat, and because of those details he's a narcissist, and he just didn't like that. And Tommy is tired of the light skin, dark skin thing within the black community. And he says that we got to stop that because it's just really pulling us down because we have these misconceptions about our skin color, or this colorism within our own community. And Kofani is disturbed by what he's hearing. Chris says to production that I don't think Denise is ready for love because she still has these negative perceptions of people based upon her past, experiences, and she's putting it off on everybody else. Tommy then applauds everybody for being so calm, adult, and handling things in a good perspective. He's saying, hey, I can just see how any of these situations, everybody could have got loud and everything could have got out of hand. And Rasheed says, I just also want to note that even though she said those things about me, honestly, I'm making my decision because I don't have a romantic chemistry with her. That's why she's in my bottom. Everybody says things that we don't agree with, but it's not based upon the things she said. It's based on the fact that we don't have any chemistry happening. It's just nothing there. Chris is not feeling Alicia, and he says that there have been comments because she's, flat out told me she's not, I'm not her type. And Brian says, there was this issue between her and I, but instead of talking to me about it, she talked to everybody else about it. And Tommy is like, no, I need the whole story. Was that the whole story, man? And Brian admits that he dropped the ball with that situation after explaining what's going on. So the men have decided that the top three that are at the bottom are Alicia, Denise, and Shay. And unfortunately, two have to go. They have paired Chris and Alicia to speak, Shay and Edwin, and then finally Kofani and Denise. Edwin tells Shay that there were several moments in which people didn't have good interactions with you. I mean, personally, there was a situation with us when we were at the pool, when you got up and you walked away. And Shay says, at the pool, I wasn't trying to be rude. I just felt that I needed to take myself out of that situation. It was nothing personal. But he's like, yeah, many felt that instead of it being romantic, a lot of you are just kind of connecting with you on a friendship vibe. And the guys agree that unfortunately, you're not ready for love. And Shay's just like, I get it. I understand. That's fine. There was no connection, but I know, my man will be waiting for me. Somebody else. I'm just not feeling it here. But that's okay. Let me give you a hug. And Shay is eliminated. Kofani and Denise talk, and he tells her, you're an amazing woman, but the other guys don't feel the way that I do. Rasheed explained this moment in which you made comments about him having narcissistic traits based upon the fact that he was tall, light-skinned, and in a fraternity. That's not good. That didn't make me feel good about what you were saying. It made me feel that you have some things to work on and learn before you could even think about being in a relationship. And it just didn't feel right. And Denise says, I just, I made my statements, but we're all learning and growing. And, I want to learn from them. And that's why I'm here, just to keep growing and keep moving forward. And he says, exactly. We're all learning from each other. And that's why we decided that you're going to stay here. So Denise isn't eliminated, and she is staying at the resort. Chris talks to Alicia and says, you're beautiful, you're assertive, and we even laugh at those little statements that you tell everybody. And she's like, yeah, I just, I say what I need to say. And plus, a lot of you guys are like my homie anyway. And Chris is like, oh, really? Okay. And he's telling her that, you're amazing, and everybody's feeling you, and Brian, is feeling you. It's just the guys agreed that, Alicia, you're not ready to love. And she says, well, I got plenty of people that think I'm beautiful, my curves, I got all this natural long hair, I'm going to find my man. And he's telling her, I bet you will. You're an amazing person. And as she's getting up, she's walking away. And Chris says, I hate to see you leave, but I love to see you walk away. And she's like, yes, oh, yeah. So she is eliminated. Alicia is eliminated. The next morning, Winter, Joy, Rasheed, Brian, and Denise talk about the individuals that were eliminated, and they're all agreeing that, wow, it was so sad to see them go, but we're aware that this is the process, this is what's happening. And now, even more than ever, they've got to be more open and more vulnerable. They have to just keep moving forward. They can't be closed-minded. They've got to say how they feel, mean what they say what they mean, and just move forward. We see Adriana, Simone, and Alex. They sit down and have a moment together. And Simone says, with everybody, I'm trying to analyze what's happening here. I think that Denise, if I'm understanding correctly, she only has one connection with one person. And Adriana says jokingly, well, we all know that ain't Rasheed. And they all crack up and all that good stuff. And she's like, yeah, speaking of that girl, I don't know if Kelfani is feeling me the way that I feel him. And Adriana keeps going on to express that I don't know if I need to keep putting my energy into him if he's not feeling me like that, and he's really feeling Denise. Anthony and Denise have a quick date playing croquet, and they flirt and have a moment of fun. And Denise says, to make it a little fun, the loser has to go skinny dipping in the pool. And he's like, I'm game. So he's trying to teach her how to hold everything and how to aim and the rules of the game. And Denise says, Anthony catches my funny and we click. So this is just, I wanted more time with Anthony. Now I'm getting it. And Denise loses, and Denise has no problem keeping her end of the bet, and we see her strip down and dive into the pool, and Anthony even jumps in as well. Tommy sits down with the ladies because he wants to let them know that, hey, whoever you are feeling, keep it real and understand what's real and what's infatuation with certain people. And eventually, when you start to feel somebody and you know that it's real, you take them to meet your friends. And your friends are here now. And no one can read your potential love mate better than your friends. So they're all in shock, like, what? My friends are here? I can't believe it. So we know the next episode that we will be seeing everyone meet the friends. People that they're digging are gonna meet the friends. And that is the end of the episode. And next week, the women decide who goes home. I just want to say to Shay and Alicia, bye, 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 bye. Game or two. I just want to be in a game or two. Gang, gang, you may hate me, but it ain't no lie, baby. Bye, 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 baby. Yeah. I just want to. To Denise, hey, girl, hey, look. Your toxicity is showing. The scene with Simone, wow. It just blows my mind that beautiful people have, well, everybody has these insecurities that they're not beautiful, that they're not appealing. But you got to look in the mirror and say, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me. Alex, sweetie, dear, I know that you're super nice and you're just like, Adriana, you have this HR ambiance about you, this energy. But when Alicia told you to go get Brian, girl, matter of fact, go get him and tell him, come talk to me. I would say, girl, you can get up and go to him and tell him, like, now I'm getting people now? You want to talk to this man, how he can come back to your room? Okay. I told y'all that Edwin was a good guy. He's just long-winded and he just has a lot to say because he's been through a lot. So I'm gonna need him to work on compressing stories, maybe give people cliff notes of certain things because we only have so much production time. He's very long-winded, but everything that he says has a lot of substance. I told y'all that Edwin was a good pick. He seems wonderful, and the more he shares stories makes me think he's just a really, really good guy. I think he needs an outlet to be able to, not trying to be funny, to talk about those things more, because when he finally gets to talk to someone, just like Simone, he purges everything. And if you say too much and you're so long-winded, sometimes it comes off as, okay, like, let me talk. But I like the fact that he let Nya speak and tell her story and share her story as well. So I love that they got the connection. I'm really seeing these two in the future have a connection because she's had some pain, he's had some pain, and they click not just on pain, but from the growth factor. They both grown from a pit of sadness, a lot of stuff that they've been through. So they may be that connection that's needed in order for them to build each other up, to be that catalyst of needing one another. They both acknowledge that I'm an independent person, I handle a lot of things on my own, but I really desire the companionship. And I've said from the beginning that Alex, Edwin, Nya, Winter all seem to have genuine efforts and genuine interest to get to know somebody. I do think that there are some actors planted in this series, but I do feel that they're the ones, or they're great actors, are exhibiting true interest in getting to find love. Dear Alicia, when Brian didn't return to your room, that was the signal. That was the flag. You see this? That was the flag in letting you know that he wasn't interested. You told everybody. You told everybody about, he was supposed to come back. I wouldn't have told nobody that. I would not have told anyone that he was supposed to be coming back to my room. I would have kept that to myself because to me, that's embarrassing. Like, this dude told you he was going to kick it. You know, we can kick it, but my mama don't like a whole lot of people with me. When I go pick her up from work. Like that scene from Friday. Girl, that was your cue. That was your cue to be like, dang, he ain't come back. Like I would have put it in my head. Maybe he fell asleep. But you saw him in the hallway and that messed you up. I wouldn't have told nobody. That would have been between me and Shay until she told everybody. But I wouldn't want to let everybody know that. This man telling you, yeah, we're going to come back. We're going to cuddle. You know what I'm saying? We're going to watch a movie. And you in your room like, where he at? First is 11:01. Then it's 12:01. Then it's 1:01. He ain't coming, girl. What? He ain't coming, girl. I just made up a song. He ain't coming, girl. What? Go to bed. Girl, you thought that man was going to be up in your room with your big old booty on his lap looking at movies and y'all was just going to cuddle? You was going to bring a grown man at a resort, y'all away, and just cuddle, girl. You was upset because you didn't get that D. Just be real. Joy. Don't forget your boots. You still messy boots. You want to know why? Because instead of talking to Simone on some real stuff, like, girl, you tried to come over there while I was kicking it with Jay and telling me all this stuff. Girl, what was your intentions? I was like, girl, what was your intentions? Instead of holding it in and not saying anything, you went and told everybody else. Now you got Winter feeling some type of way. And now you got messy boots. Girl, I thought you cleaned your boots, but girl, they messy again. Put them back on.
Hey, y'all sing with me. Joy. And give it up, and sunshine. Come on. And rain, give it up for joy.
And, you know, before everybody hops on Brian and say, that's an F-boy, and he could have told her that he did what, he didn't have to tell her nothing. It would have been nice, but he didn't have to tell her anything, y'all. He did not have to say, well, you know what, I'm not gonna, because then she would have been like, why you ain't coming back? And why you back? That's not your man. That's not your man. When he would have stood me up and he didn't come back, I would have got the signal right then and there. He's not feeling me. It's not working. Okay. Because ladies, y'all be real. Come on, be real. Men, women, whatever. You've had those moments where you didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And you say, you want my number? Okay, my number is 555-5555. Don't trip if somebody pick up the phone and say, welcome to Hollywood. Like, or you give them, you know, the number to Domino's because you don't want to hurt their feelings. Like, you know, some people are just say, I'm not interested. Get out my face. Get out my face. Like, everybody's not like that. Some people just want to be nice, you know, and they just say, well, you know, I'm not interested. But girl, people, you know, people are crazy. You don't know how somebody gonna react when you turn them down or I mean, not speaking for myself because I don't have people knocking down my door. I'm just saying. You get what I'm saying. There are moments where you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. You tell them one thing, just to avoid the situation, not intentionally to hurt their feelings, but just to avoid anything that might make them feel awkward. So you kind of say, yeah, we can kick it. That's what Brian did. I really think that's what Brian did. I'm not excusing his behavior. He could have walked to her door and said, girl, I'm not feeling you. I don't want to watch no movie. I don't want to cuddle. I don't want to do nothing. Girl, gone. Like, he could have said that, but he didn't. I really think he was trying to be nice. But also, note to Brian, I don't know who told you you were John David Washington, Denzel, Rick Fox, anybody cuter than you, which is a lot of people. I don't understand how you got so stuck up. I just don't know how to turn down. You know, I get a lot of people to, who? Boy, gone. The guys did an amazing job with eliminations. You would have thought ego would have been built up. Like, yeah, we get to eliminate these women. They were really, really mature. And they really came to a conclusion. And I thought Rasheed, and I've been saying Rasheed seems like a really awesome guy. He's just a little dorky and, you know, doesn't come off as this alpha male, right? He seems like a great guy. All guys are different. And he just seems like he's just a real chill guy, and he goes to prove that every episode that we've seen so far. And I really think he's a good catch. He's just, you know, he's got his own little ways, and he's not as rah like the other guys. He's just really, really chill. And so is Jay. You can sense that, you can see that when you're a chill person. And I'm a very chill person. I'm very private. And I noticed that in Rasheed and Jay. They ain't with that rah. They're some da-das. Denise, your clock. Tick, 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 tick. I hope she's next, but she won't be because she's entertaining. And for real, like I've been saying, she seems like a very sweet person. She seems like she's so genuine. She's a beautiful woman. Her skin, just her body build. She's beautiful. But those things, judging people off of past experiences, is a no-no. Your aggressiveness and not wanting to just chill and saying certain things, I'm still not feeling it. But girl, Kelfani digging you, and so is Anthony, so whatever. I really think that Anthony needs to go. He's boring. And if I didn't mention it, he's boring. And then after that, he's boring. I just haven't seen anything about Anthony that's just like, yeah, I'm really interested. I don't know your backstory. I know nothing about you except that you've made it thus far. But you know, we had other people we needed to eliminate. So I think you're next. Yeah. So hopefully he's next. I don't like to look at the previews for the following week because I don't want anything in my head. I don't want anything in my head that's going to, you know, get in the way of me reviewing the current episode. But I'm tired of Chris. I've been telling y'all from the jump, it's not the open slate that's getting to me. I've said from the beginning, it's something about him that's like sneaky. And then he made comments like, well, you know, Nya's not my type typically that I talk to. Okay, well, who's your type? Who do you usually talk to? Because we have fair-skinned women here. Do you mean fair, non-melanated? What's your type? Men? He never did explain it. He was just like, that's not my type. Like, they're so annoying. I don't know why he gets on my nerves, but he does. And that's wrong of me because I don't know that man, but it's just something. And even in the production scenes where he's talking and he has the shirt with the flip collar and the open, just don't wear any shirts. V-necks only go so far. Button-ups, you know, why get those? Just, we get it, dude. You work out, you're proud of that, you're showing your pecs. That's awesome. That's great. I'm so proud of you. But I just don't need to see your chest everywhere you go. Okay, let me calm down. But he annoys me. Can you tell? Thank you so much for tuning in, you guys. Please leave your comments below and check out the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air 30-year reunion recap and review that I posted today. I really want y'all to look at that because I'm giving some, you know, receipts on that. I just need y'all to watch it, okay? Because it was wonderful. I enjoyed it, and I also put some receipts and some facts in there that a lot of people aren't talking about, so y'all check that out. Subscribe, Click that notification bell so you don't miss any posts, and also follow me on Instagram so you don't miss the sneak peeks of what's coming up next. I love you guys. I cannot wait to read your comments below. Let's remember to respect one another. Everybody can say their opinion. We can agree to disagree, but let's just all just have fun in the comments and enjoy one another. I love you guys. Until next time, we got Egon Love Fix My Life tomorrow, a brand new episode. If you haven't seen any of the episodes, it's okay. I have the playlist listed in the comments, and also the previous episodes of Ready to Love if you haven't seen those, okay? I got you. There's so much more coming up. In the meantime, take care of yourselves. And until next time, bye.